guys, welcome back. So as you can see behind me, I have my seed starting station set up in my bay window in the kitchen again. This is my 5th year in a row to grow my plants, all of my starts for my spring and summer garden in this window right here. Mostly summer plants. We're talking nightshades, coleus, basils, all of the warm weather items that I'm not particularly too keen on winter sowing. So let's get started. It's going to be a long video because not only am I going to start these seeds with you tonight, it'll probably be tonight by the time we get done. You're going to help me pick out what to grow this year because I have no clue. I'm leaning towards hybrids for the tomatoes, but I have not even looked at my seeds. I don't even know how many plants I want to grow. Don't know if I'm going to have a plant sale this year. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to figure it out when we sit down to look at those seeds. This is my warm season vegetable bin here. And I'm going to pull out the tomatoes. I've got a few packs in these containers as well. And we will decide what we are going to grow for 2025. Starting to get really overwhelmed super quickly. So I'm thinking about I'm going to grow only tomato seeds that I've never grown before. I'm not going to grow any of my usuals. We're only growing new plants that I've never grown in my garden. Heavy emphasis on hybrids. All right, I have narrowed it down to only 12 varieties. Only 2 of those 12 I have grown before, and I made an exception to what I was planning to do this year because Whitmore, my grandma, will be here in the summer, and she wants to try this tomato. It's very meaty, very few seeds, and it's big. It is an heirloom though, so didn't like my humidity last summer. I'm going to try it again. So this is a repeat. I really do recommend it because of those low seeds. And then a repeat, we'll go ahead and look at the cherry tomatoes. I'm going to grow the Gobstopper. Never grown that. Doesn't really look appetizing, but I'm going to give it a try. We're going to grow Sun Sugar. That's a repeat for me. Technically, I had issues with germination last year, and I had to buy one plant and make cuttings from it to have several mini plants. So yeah, we're going to grow and have Sun Sugar in the garden again. That's a repeat. And we're going to try Braveheart. It's a hybrid, a small, sweet cherry tomato. We've got 3 cherry tomatoes. And for big slicers, we're going to have the Whitmore. We're going to do Virginia Sweets to be comparable to pineapple, which I love. We are going to grow Kellogg's Breakfast. Also a big slicer to be comparable to Dr. Witchy's, which we love. And we're going to grow this Mater sandwich, hybrid. I don't really have a comparison. Maybe Big Daddy, which I did grow last year. It was a large red slicer hybrid. And then this one is, I've never heard of it, Blushing Star. It says it has the taste of an heirloom, but it's a hybrid with lots of disease resistance. For our paste tomato, we're going to grow this Italian Roma. I'm going to grow Red Pride to be a substitute for Ace 55, which I love. Looks similar. And then for my dwarfs, I'm going to do Isabel's Big Dwarf. Never grown that. And I've never grown Jamestown. It's a hybrid as well. So that should be 12. Which is me cutting back from prior years. So I think I'm doing really well. I actually took a couple nights to think on it, and we had a really busy weekend. I have not had time to sit down and start my seeds. So while I was waiting and, getting prepped, washing those trays, thinking in my head every night I was laying there in bed trying to go to sleep, I kind of reworked some of the plans for my garden for tomatoes. I'm at 15 now. I feel really good at this number. I feel good with my selections at this point. I wasn't quite 100% certain the other night when I recorded what I was going to grow, but now I feel really comfortable. I feel settled. A lot of these guys are seeds that do well as seedlings and plants when they're grown. Hot, humid areas. So I'm looking for heat resistance. I'm looking for disease resistance. You'll see that a lot of these are not hybrids that are bred for that disease resistant, but they're just naturally known for being good in my climate, hot and humid summer, that's prone to a lot of tomato diseases. So I did add in some hybrids, not as much as I wanted. That was a problem that I was thinking over the last couple nights. And also, I didn't have many dwarfs. So I kind of reworked a few things. Actually put in a tomato order for Hudson Valley. And that was sometime during the night that order went in. So I'm not sure how quickly they will get those out to me. It is Monday morning, so maybe they could even put it in the mail today. That would be awesome. But I'm waiting on 2 seeds from them. I'll show you the write-up on them, though, and I'll put some pictures. So I've got 15 seed packets here. I'm just growing these for me. The cocoa cherry, these are going to go on the top of one of my green stalks. I think I've only got about 5 seeds left in here. But this is a small, little, very tiny, compact plant. It's a determinate. So once I get the harvest from those, we'll plant something else in those green stalk pockets. So these guys are my dwarfs. A couple of them are not technically labeled as dwarf, but they're very compacted and they're very short growing, like 4 foot tall. If I can keep my tomatoes under 4 to 5 feet, I'm very pleased, because a lot of my indeterminates will just grow and grow and grow and get huge. So this is one that I ordered. It's not here yet. Hopefully by the end of the week. It's called Dwarf Purple Heart. Put a picture here. It is stunning. It is gorgeous, and it sounds so delicious. I've watched some YouTube reviews of it. I've read many different websites about it. It is part of the Tomato Dwarf Project, which is very important. Love those tomatoes. So it's open pollinated. You can save the seeds. So it says vigorous growth, medium to medium large fruits, and they are a heart shape, a beautiful deep crimson, delicious and balanced. 70 days. Although they might mature a little bit early, but they're labeled as mid-season. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be one of my compact plants that could possibly go in a container or in a tight space. And then I'm going to do the semi-determinate. This is my only semi-determinate this year. It's called Foxfire Pink. I will also put a picture right here. I wanted something gorgeous for salads, and this will be my one novelty tomato of the year that has just that wow kind of beautiful factor. And so these are also compact plants, very vigorous, get bushy, but it's a large elongated pink and red fruit that has beautiful dark purple to black shoulders that kind of radiate downward. Perfect for salad size. It is open pollinated as well. We can save those seeds, and it's 65 days. And I know exactly where I'm going to put these with my roses on my front walkway. They're going to look gorgeous. And then I've got, this is a Dwarf Project tomato. It's Tennessee suited. It's a medium size purple to red with green striping, and it's supposed to be balanced and rich and sweet. Determinate. So, you know, that's the only negative about some of these dwarfs, and it is a long to maturity, 70 to 80 days. So yeah, but it's going to be a beautiful fruit, and I love that these dwarfs do not get huge and out of control. And this one is not part of the Dwarf Project, but it is a determinate that only gets 3 to 4 feet and supposedly great in containers. It is also a determinate, so we're going to get all of those fruits within a window of, 2 to 4 weeks, and then that plant's going to be done. The difference with this one, it is a hybrid that's been bred for disease resistance, and it had multiple diseases listed. I had such a horrible time last year. I really need that protection. But the fruits are highly rated. It's a deep red, supposed to be hardy, and it's supposed to do extremely well here in the very hot weather. Anxious to try this one. I think it sounds great. So that's all I have for my compact and or dwarf plants, just 4. And then for big slicers, I think I switched too many of these out, maybe a couple. So Blushing Star is a hybrid. It's an indeterminate 70-dayer. It does have a lot of lobing, but it's a pink beefsteak that has extremely strong disease resistance with the heirloom taste. Really looking forward to trying this one. The Mater sandwich, couldn't find a lot of reviews on this one. It might be kind of specific to this seed producer here, which is Park Seed. It's called Mater sandwich, 75 days, big red, meaty, supposedly vigorous growth. It is hybrid for disease. And okay, so the rest of these are heirlooms. So I've got the Kellogg's Breakfast. So it's got a history in West Virginia. That is a good sign that it might do well here. I'm really, really anxious to try this one, guys. It sounds so delicious, and they can get huge, 1 to 2 pounds. Oh, but it's 80 to 85 days. But I guess that makes sense since they're so big. And then Virginia Sweets is from right here in Virginia. So I'm hoping that will give me a little bit of protection. It says it's tolerant of heat, crack resistant, low acid, sweet, fruity, complex. And it is a great tomato to grow in the Southeast, which is where I'm at. 80-day or heirloom, indeterminate, bicolor, yellow and red. And then we already talked about this one, the Whitmore. It's heirloom, indeterminate. Has one taste test with this seed company here, Seed Savers Exchange. And just love this one because of the low seeds and the extreme meatiness of it. Like you can pick a slice up and it's almost like picking up something solid that's not going to bend. Really impressed with this tomato. And it was mellow but flavorful. And then kind of my wild card that I added in just now is going to be one I did grow in 2021 that I was super impressed with. And I've kept the seeds. I do have some of the seeds that I saved as well. But I'm going to tell you, this is really a great tomato plant. And it is not a hybrid. It is an heirloom, but it is known for being disease resistant and performing in real hot, humid areas like where I'm from. And it's originally from Germany in the Black Forest. But it is Eva Purple. It is a pinkish, slightly purplish, but more pink in my opinion. Very round, kind of compact, smooth, round, fruit that would be good for cutting up for a salad. It's not like a huge slicer. It's a perfect little tomato if you just want to cut a couple up in your salad. Really flavorful. I do keep this seed because I will, obviously grow this again because I liked it so much the first time. This will be my second time to grow it. I kind of wanted to have another fruit that was smaller, and this is what I ended up choosing. And then for my cherry tomatoes, I'm only going to grow this Braveheart red cherry tomato that's a hybrid. It's a 60-dayer, which is really cool. It's highly rated and also great disease resistant. I think it listed like 5-6 different diseases and very heat tolerant. So I had a horrible time with my super sweet 100s last year. They all succumbed to early blight, and I had to pull them. It was really sad. So I wanted to grow these to kind of increase my chances of getting some red cherry tomatoes. This one I'm waiting on in the mail. It's Honey Drop. It's an open pollinated substitute for sun sugar or sun gold. I love sun sugar. I used to grow sun gold, and I'm hopeful this will take the place of those two tomatoes. It's an indeterminate 70-dayer, has supposedly like a white grape, but sweet, wonderful taste. And it's got that golden color, but it's known for being less, has less cracking than the other two tomatoes I just mentioned. And, it's good to get away from relying on those two hybrids for my sun sugar fix. It would be great to be able to save the seeds from these honey drops. So I'm anxious to try that. And at the same time, I am going to grow sun sugar because there are some seeds left in this pack from last year. And I love it. I love this tomato. It is so good. That is a 60-day, 62-day tomato. And it does crack less for me than sun gold. So I do prefer sun sugar. So I'm growing those two side by side so I can, no, I need to separate them a little bit so I can know which is which, because I'm going to do a taste test. And I've got a friend growing sun gold, so I'll be able to taste all three together this year. And last but not least is going to be my paste tomatoes for the year, my Romas. I'll grow those at my friend Ivy's house. So probably won't have any of those here, but we will definitely be able to harvest these and taste them. It is an heirloom Italian Roma. It's a determinate, but it's supposed to be very compacted but productive. Highly rated and delicious fruits. So I'm anxious to try these. I'll probably sow the whole pack, and probably we usually plant about 20 plus plants at her house. And then we just split the bounty when we harvest them. We've got a huge pile of peppers over here. I'm trying to narrow it down. This is the possible narrow down pile. So I'm going to finish my coffee and make that selection. Ta-da! Much quicker on the peppers. That didn't take hardly any time at all. So for my eggplants. I'm not growing eggplant to donate, to sell, to give away, because I have a hard time getting rid of eggplants. Nobody wants eggplants. So I'm only growing maybe 3 of this very petite, really small fruit eggplant from a green stalks, jewel amethyst. So maybe 3 of those from a green stalks. So I'll probably plant 4 or 5 seeds. I've had the same packet. Well, it says 2021, but I've used this several times. I love this little packet. So when I finally run out, I would definitely buy another packet of this because I like all 3 of these eggplants. I've grown over the years, and I think this year I'm only going to grow the 2. I'm probably just going to grow the pinkish kind of ruby color one on the left, and then the middle one is more like what we're used to as far as a dark purple eggplant. I think one of them is called Nadia and the other one is called something else. This one's Rosa Bianca, I think, and I love that one. Love, love, love that one too. So I'm I may just grow all 3 because this one is a beautiful white creamy flesh, and it's great for eggplant parmesan. I'm trying to think where I'll put them all. Maybe I'll just start 2 to 3 seeds of each. So we'll have, well, that's 4 containers there, but yeah, we're going to do that. So I've got my peppers picked out. Now this is either shishito, or it was one of the jalapenos from this potapino from last year, which is a hybrid. So I am thinking, I'm 80% sure it is the potapino, but then again, I'm like, why would I save it? Because I know it's a hybrid. It could be shishito. I saved it thinking I was going to start the seeds because it had dried up naturally, partially on the plant, and then I brought it inside and it dried up so well. I'm thinking, wow, those seeds are really great. They're mature. Even if it was my shishito, there's a possibility it was a cross because I grow other peppers in the same area. I did not protect the blossoms from bee cross-pollination. But I may, if I have enough room, start a container of these just to see what grows. Probably will hold off on the potapino because I think I've got 1 or 2 in the garage overwintering. Okay, so we'll figure all that out later, but these are the ones I'm definitely going to go ahead and start today. Serrano. So I'm going to do this whole pack. And some of these peppers you're going to notice are a repeat from last year that I did not have any germination on. But I do not think it was a seed issue, and I need to prove that to myself this year. I think it was a hot air bubble issue. I think I dealt with that last year in weeks 1 through 3 of seed starting. And also I had some soil issues last year as well. We'll talk about that when I actually start the seeds. So we've got these guys. I'll do a bunch of these. I could sell these, give these away. I'm sure people would like them. The golden Marconi, I'm going to grow that for me. Maybe some to give away. The red impact, there's only 8 to 10 seeds, so probably just start a very small container of these, mostly for me, maybe just a couple to give away to family friends. Poblano, I'll probably grow a whole tray of these. These are great to give out to people and also to donate. I do donate probably about 50 plants to a local food pantry. So probably keep those like varieties that are well accepted, like red tomatoes, standard peppers, and then the chocolate beauty. That was another germination issue last year, so I need to prove that there's nothing wrong with these seeds, that it was user fault, my fault with well, you'll just have to go back and watch that video. It's a long story. I'm going to do a whole container of California Wonder. So far, this is my favorite green pepper to grow. And then I've got this Felicity hot pepper jalapeno seeds. So I think, yeah, so these are a hybrid because they have no heat. And I know you're thinking, why in the world would you grow jalapenos with no heat? And the first time I got COVID, which was back when it was, pretty potent, back when it was like, I don't know, one of those bad variants, I developed something where hot food I couldn't tolerate anymore. Like I used to could eat stuff and then I couldn't, right? So I also had this horrible thing go with my taste buds. Like water tasted like poison. Everything tasted horrible. couldn't eat anything, couldn't drink anything because it just tasted absolutely horrible. So after I got over all that, the hot stuff remained just extremely hot. Like there was just something wrong with my taste buds. So it's, a few years later, 3 or 4 years later, and finally I'm getting some of that hot taste control back in my taste buds. But every time I try to make jalapeno poppers the last few years, they're just so hot for me and I can't eat them because I love them. I want to eat them. So that's why we've got Felicity here. On the far extreme, we've got this really hot jalapeno. I'm going to go ahead and grow it and just see how everyone else tolerates it. Yeah, so we're going to grow this guy as well. I'm going to grow habanero. Now, I do have my old standby early flame jalapeno overwintering in the garage. I have dug that plant up. This will be its 3rd summer to live out in my garden. So he has overwintered successfully 2 whole winters in my garage. And that's a really good jalapeno as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and grow this package here. Same principle. This is a mild habanero. But I had issues with germination last year with this packet. I think it's going to work for me this year because I figured out what I did wrong last year, and really excited to try these. I just think it's really weird that so many peppers last year I had a hard time germinating where I've never had any trouble before. I don't think it's the seeds. I think it was I had created a hot air bubble because I did something different with my stacking of trays and containers to get my seedlings as close to my lights as possible. And I had used some clear containers in it. All the sun that came in through the window got trapped in there, and I think it put my germination heating range way higher than what it needed to be. So I think that was the issue, and I think we will have great luck getting some of these peppers and eggplants to grow this year. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, is let's just end the video here with what I selected, what I'm growing for 2025 for peppers, eggplants, and tomatoes, because we have not started the seeds yet. And I think I'll just start a whole new video with that. Maybe we'll call it week 1 seed starting, or week 0. I mean, it's technically week 0, right? And then I'll give you an update next week. I go back and watch these videos and I learn so much of mistakes I've made, things I could do differently. So it's really effective for me to make those videos along the way. All right, well, I hope you're having a great gardening week. And so what are you growing? Are you growing some of these varieties? What is your max pick for tomatoes? Like, do you just grow like 3 or 4? Do you grow 20 or 30 different varieties, or 50 varieties? And what about peppers? What's your favorite pepper? I would love to know that. I'm always looking for new peppers. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye.